god, let's get this over with. At least Nara isn't in this episode.
You don't deserve to live.
So I don't have to worry about pissing off Cecile. No reason to do that though, because she's perfect. Oh, sorry, we can't do that on videos anymore. It's freaking people out. Yeah, sorry about that. Anyways, the episode starts with Arnold talking to Norlon. Kristoff informs Norlon that he learned that Ash and the Gias user were working with the terrorists. This intel came from the guinea pigs. Then Catherine joins in with her bouncing breasts. By the way, to really emphasize just how bad the fan service was in this episode, I'm going to keep a separate sin counter for each instance of it starting right now.
I can't believe I've been personally summoned by Lord Norland. Who even are you?
After her cringe flirting, Kristoff orders both to wipe out the terrorist. Then he goes to deal with Sakya, who's hanging around.
Yeah, we get the wordplay.
She's in a humiliating position as a prisoner, just like Colin was, only worse. And just like Lelouch and Colin, Sakya is also in a straitjacket. After that crappy intro, the fight between Neil Britannia and the Seven Shining Stars begins. Arnold appears looking for Ash, just like Jeremiah was looking for Zero. Karoto orders Ash to assist his forces when learning he doesn't know about Rose's whereabouts. Then Ash runs into Arnold and is curious how the fucker's still alive, just like Lelouch did for Jeremiah. Arnold explains he's a robot and they start fighting. Then we go to Catherine and Haruka, who also start fighting. Haruka's nightmare frame moves give Catherine a mini orgasm, which is why she thinks this fight is going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, wow. You'll eat those words.
Then comes the cringe nightmare frame dancing. Back at the sex dungeon, Kristoff explains how Sakya's Gias works.
There seem to be a wide variety of Gias abilities.
And that they cancelled her Gias ability. They even dragged Bartley's dead fat ass in here.
You really freed people from my Gias?
Since his research is responsible for this.
What exactly do you intend to do with me?
After explaining his dumb plan to make Gias, Norland joins the call to talk with Sakya. Back on the battlefield, Arnold reveals how his new upgrades prevents Ash's instant kill move. Then Haruka and Catherine fight some more, only now Catherine starts taunting her since Haruka is turning out to be a disappointment. Who knew?
Are all these wild swings supposed to be attacks?
Even Karoto notes how she won't last long.
Haruka won't last long.
And he can't send her reinforcements because they're not doing well either. Back to Arnold's fight with Ash. It's not going well for Ash, and Arnold brings up that he was tricked by his fake brother, then reminds him that Norlon killed his real brother. This causes the Gias command to activate on Ash, just like how it did for Suzaku or Lelouch. Back at the sex dungeon, Sakya doesn't answer Norlon, so he leaves her to Kristoff. What an awesome villain.
I've come across a lot of psychos, but none as fucking boring as you. You are a boring F*** cunt.
By the way, if you're enjoying the video and finding value in this content, please consider liking the video and subscribing. On this channel, I'm covering Roze of Recapture and everything else Gias related. I even plan to branch out to other things. Check out the community tab posts if you want a sneak peek at what's coming next, but I need your support to make that happen. Now let's get back to the recap.
The power of Gias. Can it be done?
Why?
Do with her as you wish. We are done here.
Understood. Bring the prisoners in.
Ash starts freaking out and due to the Gias falls over the ledge with his nightmare frame. Then Arnold finds him, removes him from his nightmare frame and reveals his Gias canceller, which he plans to use on Ash so he will remember how his brother died before Arnold kills him. Back at the sex dungeon, the prisoners are brought to Sakya so she'll use her Gias on them. Then back at the battlefield, getting whiplash yet? Anyways, Arnold uses his canceller on Ash. Ash relives everything everything and thanks to Isao gets away from Arnold. Shirley went through a similar experience as Ash in this episode. After Jerry used his canceller on her, she immediately went to deal with everything she learned. Then we cut back to Haruka and Catherine. At this point, it's not going well for Haruka since Catherine actually knows what she's doing.
Keeps darting in and out of range.
But Haruka gets one nice blow on her using a Blaze Luminous type weapon. Catherine then decides to take on Haruka with no weapons.
Looks like things got a little interesting. Well, in that case, is this supposed to be some kind of joke?
Things look bad for Oda's squad, but then Iwamoto with the Eastern Dawn Brigade comes to save them. This is kinda like when the Four Holy Swords arrived at Narita. Then Kuroto gets a message concerning where Rosa is being held by Scissorman. I think Ash got the same message because he heads over to find Roze.
The heck is this?
It's from an anonymous sender.
Sir Scissorman has a new prisoner, the younger nameless mercenary brother.
It turns out that Stanley sent his message because he finds the whole Gias thing to be nonsense. I kinda agree. On his way, Ash thinks about everything that has happened to him. Back at the sex dungeon, Sakuya refuses to use her Gias on some prisoners, so Kristoff killed him, then threatened to bring someone close to her. But then Ash arrives, so Kristoff has to go on the defense. Despite the reinforcements, things are still not going well for the Seven Shining Stars. They are facing heavy casualties and equipment issues.
Oda and Munamori squad, head to Point Alpha. And North Wolf Army, start moving to Point Bravo.
Back to the fight between Haruka and Catherine. Catherine is now bored with her fight against Haruka. It's clear that she is a better pilot. Also, Haruka gets the same nightmare frame view angles as Colin did. Just more sad attempts to make this character like her.
So boring. I feel like I could take a nap right now.
I told you. You're gonna eat those words!
Back at the sex dungeon, Ash arrives and destroys the place. He then makes it to Sakuya's chamber where Kristoff is waiting for him.
It's Ash.
Ash defeats Kristoff despite his trash talking and cheap tactics.
That young lady tricked you and was posing as your brother right by your side like she didn't have a care in the world.
Let's go back to Catherine versus Haruka. Before Tits defeats Ass, Oda and Munamori save Haruka. But before Catherine can attack them, bombs go off.
I did have fun. I let my guard down, boys.
Iwamoto's men use kamikaze attacks to take out the Neo-Britannian forces, allowing the Seven Shining Stars to escape. Not sure how any of that actually worked out though. Iwamoto sacrificed his life as well. Who gives a shit? Also, this is a terrible copy from what happened in Akito the Exiled OVA 1. Technically, the end of Ash's fight with Kristoff happens at this point, but I already discussed it earlier, so instead we get to the end where Ash lowers Sakuya down.
I used an unnatural power. I deceived you.
Sakuya asked Ash if he's free from her Gias. He says yes. Then Sakuya apologizes for everything, then begs Ash to help her out, and then after saving Sakura, he can do whatever he wants to her.
Very poor choice of words.
Ash pulls out his gun, points it at Sakuya's head, and then the episode mercifully ends. There's no sugarcoating it. This episode was horrible.
That was the worst thing I have ever seen, and I was in Nam.